in from a city's perspective, I think historically this municipality took on everything that they could, whether they could manage it effectively or not. And I came in with a different approach, and that is, if you're not good, if you're not competitive, then there are people and organizations out here that are competitive and that are good. Now, I believe in competition, and the reality is that we owe the services and the funding that we get to the citizens of Detroit. And there have been so many complaints that I had heard about over my time in this office that I knew we had to do something different. And you had a lot of pushback in terms of people saying, you know, the private industry is no better than the public. You know, what makes you think they're going to do a better job? The fact of the matter is, we have not done a good job for a long period of time, so why keep doing the same thing? So I believe that the change that we are implementing is without a doubt going to be an improvement. And it's not so much of us controlling everything, but making sure that the services that are to be provided to our citizens through both state and federally funded kind of projects, that we give them the best service available. And I think I'm comfortable, quite frankly, with Pam's leadership in particular, and with the support that she'll get from her chair and she'll get from the state, that we will do a much better job in providing services and getting them to the people that are in most need. There are two components that I believe drive this administration's transformation of our city. It's the identification and delivery of core services and the elimination of services that we historically currently provide at a substandard level. In the latter category, the three areas we've identified are health, human services, and workforce development. Today we are here to share with you our rationale, our plan, and the future direction for workforce development. Janet Howard from the state's Workforce Development Office will provide some context about the recent history of the city's workforce development operations to date and why this transition is a better solution for our residents. Pam Moore, the former Director of Workforce Development and the head of the new agency called Detrot Employment Solutions Corporation, will discuss the details of the transition. I think it's important in transforming Detroit and preparing it for repopulation that my administration not only stabilizes the city financially by reducing the overall cost, but that we also focus on what we do best as a city as effectively and as efficiently as we can. As I've said before, this transition does not mean that services previously provided by workforce development will no longer be provided. It actually means that they will be provided more effectively and efficiently. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Pam, and maybe we can start some discussion. Then I'd like to have Janet talk about, how her perception is with this change from a state perspective, and maybe David, you from your position with workforce development. And then we can open it up for some Q&A.
Good afternoon. So let me just give you a little bit of history. In January of this year, the state came into the department and did a review of past performance. We looked at performance specifically going back 4 years, but some of the issues that were still outstanding went back to 2002. And some of those issues were inefficient internal operations, delays in getting contracts in place, delays in getting staff hired, and at the end of the day, that all affected our performance and our performance outcomes that are required by the feds and the state who provides funding for these workforce programs. So those issues were documented. We received a formal written document from the state outlining those issues, disallowed costs, just a number of issues, again, that dated back many, many, many years. And so there was a meeting between the state, myself, and my David Baker Lewis, and the discussion centered around how we were going to resolve some of these longstanding issues. The board decided that they would make a recommendation to the mayor to move the operations outside of the city of Detroit. This is not a core service for the mayor. The mayor was looking at a number of decisions to be made about all of the departments going across the city. And so this was the recommendation that was taken to the mayor. We hired a number of consultants. The board hired a number of consultants, and the consultants agreed that that would be the best option. We looked at a number of options, but looking at a nonprofit entity specifically would be the best option.